Hello and welcome to our overview of SwoopSearch. If you are not familiar with it, SwoopSearch is an all-in-one search box for library resources, kind of like Google, just for the library stuff. And you can get to that from our homepage right here in the middle of the screen. This is actually a functioning search box. It's a basic search, and you can start typing in items there, and it will open up the search for you. Or you can click on advanced search if you would like to uh, add some different terms and do a more granular search. I'm going to go back over to the basic search for now. Uh, with basic search, you'll see this is just a single entry box like a Google box. There are some things that you can do to narrow your search before you do it, like clicking on full text or peer reviewed. However, the default is to select items that are available in the library collection. That will return items that are things like books or videos that the library may own a physical copy of, or it will give you links to database articles, conference proceedings, online videos, any kind of electronic resource that we own or pay for access to. I'm going to do a quick little search for a walrus. Now, once you do the search, you can click on all filters, and those will open up over here on the right. You'll notice that it does give you some of those advanced search parameters. As I mentioned, available in the library collection means that you should be able to get to the resource either electronically right away, or it's something that you could go to the library and pick up physically. The full text uh, limiter will return items that are electronic resources only that we have access to either through purchase or through subscription. Catalog only does a little bit different. That is items that are in our catalog, which includes all of our print materials, any physical media that we have in the library, as well as purchased ebooks. Um, those are the kind of contents that we have in a separate catalog as things that we own. You can also limit to the institutional repository. If you're not familiar with that, the institutional repository is called ScholarWorks, and that is where we house all the theses and dissertations for the university, as well as open access scholarly output from faculty, staff, and students. So if your professor wrote a paper and that paper was published in an open access journal, we'll have that in ScholarWorks. You can also check off just for peer reviewed if you're looking for those really higher level scholarly resources. The filters also allow you to narrow down by publication date, content providers, source types, subjects, major subject headings, publications, publishers, language, geography, and library locations. I'm going to X out of that to close the filters. And we'll take a look at some of the search results. The default is for things to be sorted by relevance. If for some reason you want to change that, you can change it to publication dates as well. And you can also save the search or create an alert for your search. In order to do that, you need to be signed in with a My EBSCO account. That's a little different than your Open Athens account, but you can create one of those for free, and then you'd be able to save your searches, organize them into different projects, and things like that. Taking a look at our results, you'll notice these placards up at the top. Usually it's the top most relevant publication will show up in one of these. And then they have these things called research starters. These are typically encyclopedia entries that we have available that kind of give an overview, an encyclopedic overview of your subject. That's not going to show up all the time, but because I did a general search, you will see that. Looking down into the search results, you'll notice a couple of things. So this one has the little check mark for peer reviewed, meaning that it comes from a peer reviewed journal and that it's a journal article out of an academic journal. You can click on the title Those will be links, and that will give you a little more information. Um, it, you'll notice it's published in the journal Harmful Algae, and the publication is from November of 2025. So that's actually a future date from now. And we have access to this through the database Medline, and it also lists the authors. Down here, there's just a little more detailed information. Sometimes you'll need that, sometimes you won't. More information about the source, what type of publication it is, information about the journal. And this one has mesh terms. So those are medical subject headings. These sometimes you'll see CINAHL headings or just major subject terms. These are a little different than the other subject terms in that they have a controlled vocabulary, meaning that there are experts who work for that database or that publisher who have an agreed on way of describing things. And this article has been found to fit into these subjects. The abstracts are also here. Of course, that's just a review of the article itself. It kind of gives you a little more information than just the title, so you can decide if you want to bother going in and clicking into it to read it. And of course, down here, there's just some other numbers that may be useful to you. Back up here at the top, if you click Access Now, this is going to link over into the database where we have access for this journal. And you can read online, or you can also choose to download the PDF if you like. We also have the ability to generate a reference right here within SwoopSearch. You also have a list of the references, so you can find out what articles the author used to inform their writing. And if it's something that we have access to, you'll typically have a link there that you can just go directly out into another article. It's a good way to up the number of citations that you can find just by doing one search. You also have tools here that will allow you to cite the article. So this pops up and the default is APA 7th, but you can also change to a bunch of different ones. If you need Chicago, if you need MLA, if you need Harvard, you can choose those citation styles. Now, as always, we recommend double checking those citations because they are only as good as the metadata that was supplied by the writer or by the publisher. Um, Typically, if there is a mistake, it'll be things like this was supposed to be capitalized and it's not, or this was supposed to be in italics and it's not. This one looks pretty good just based on a quick overview, but we do recommend double checking those. Now, on the other tools, you can add this to a project if you've logged into a My EBSCO account. Maybe you're working on a group project, you can click on share, and that'll give you some options for sending that link to somebody. And then you also have a download. When you do that download, it's only going to give you the citation. That's not downloading the full text of the article. So, and of course, you can bookmark it, and that'll save it to your My EBSCO account also. And that is the new SwoopSearch. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to the library directly or contact your subject librarian for further assistance.